Coming up on Mountain News at 6, one cable company is set to take off WYMT from its channel lineup. And reactions continue to pour in after the hiring of Kentucky basketball's newest head coach.
Plus, goodbye rain, hello sunshine. Your weekend forecast coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Folks in Wise, Virginia could be losing access to WYMT and our newscasts again, leaving many people searching for answers. WYMT's Jack Demler joins us now live from Wise with more on this. Jack?
Thanks, Steve. There seems to be some growing frustration among residents of Wise, Virginia after they heard the news recently that Comcast will be taking off WYMT from this region. I spoke to some of those residents about what that impact is going to look like ahead. A town that relies on WYMT for weather coverage?
Your weather is more like what we have, and we rely on that.
A warning, and that will be for Wise County, Virginia.
You've got a lot better weather channels than what we have in the Tri-Cities.
And keeps up with local news and sports.
You know, you have sports, basketball, and football on Friday night. A lot of people here tune into that.
Over at UVA Wise, the Cavs hosted Wingate.
And petitioned to keep it before?
Well, we decided to fight, you know. We hear he's going to lose that station, and nobody around here liked it for the same reason we still got the weather, you know, your news and stuff like that.
Could soon lose it again.
Well, I've been friends with Mr. Middleton for several years because I kind of helped the last time we were about to lose this channel, and we conversed, and he called me out of the blue, and I told him I'd try to do what I could for him.
Residents were notified that Comcast would not carry WYMT in this region effective April 23rd, putting the pressure on residents to fight back.
I talked to our politicians. If they can't help you, you're probably not going to get the results that you like.
Town manager Laura Kraft says she reached out to a representative of Comcast who told her the decision came from CBS, stating they don't want two CBS stations so close together. A situation some residents say is resolved.
Yes, we only have one, and it's Tri-Cities. Your station is not a CBS station now. We get the secondary.
Continuing to fight for ways to keep coverage most impactful to them. And Steve, as I mentioned before in the 4 o'clock, I did reach out to Comcast looking to get a better understanding as to why they could potentially be taking WYMT off the air in this region. I have still yet to hear back from them, but I will continue to look into it. We will continue to update this story as more information becomes knowledgeable to us. But as of right now, I am sending it back to you in the studio from Wise, Virginia. Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Jack, we'll continue following. Hopefully this issue gets resolved. And again, the folks there in Wise get our second channel, H&I, not CBS programming, but we do air our newscasts, as many of you know, on our second channel, or most of our newscasts on H&I. So we'll see what comes of all this, and hopefully the folks there in Wise, and we do know a lot of people watch us over there, will continue to be able to watch us. Well, former Owsley County Clerk Shanna Oliver has pleaded guilty to misuse of confidential information and official misconduct. That's according to a release from the Attorney General's office. Oliver resigned from her position on March 31st. As a result, Oliver is prohibited from filing as a candidate for the position in the future. She can also not be employed by the office. Here's what Attorney General Russell Coleman said in a statement. Quote, Owsley County voters hired their county clerk to do a job, and she has broken the public trust. I'm proud to work alongside the dedicated detectives of DCI's Public Integrity Branch and our skilled prosecutors who are promoting the clean and honest government Kentuckians deserve. In the release, Judge Executive Zeke Little Jr. said he's appointed Austin Bowling as the new county clerk. An Eastern Kentucky Commonwealth's attorney is charged with wire fraud. A criminal complaint says Perry County Commonwealth's attorney Scott Blair used his position of authority to assist various people who were facing criminal charges in the county between April 2020 and March of this year. The complaint also says Blair requested something of value, including sexual favors and methamphetamine, several times from multiple people. Blair is being held in Laurel County and is set to appear in federal court on Monday. And we just received a statement a short time ago from Attorney General Russell Coleman about this, calling for Blair's resignation. Here's what Coleman said in part, quote, "Given the serious accusations of abusing his office to assist criminals in exchange for drugs and sexual favors, the public good demands that Scott Blair immediately resign," end quote. A Pineville woman is behind bars after she reportedly engaged in a standoff with police. The incident happened overnight when Bell County deputies responded to a home on Jones Avenue where a woman was blocking the roadway. Deputies were told by two people that 43-year-old Sherry Helton would not let them go through the street from where she had blocked it. Deputies later found Helton inside a home where she had barricaded herself before finally coming out.
We are tracking some more light showers as we close out the work week. Up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, some good news, no severe storms and no thunderstorms this evening, but we are tracking some light showers pushing into southeast Kentucky, also moving into southwest Virginia at this hour. Some more light showers for portions of Pike County, moving into Buchanan, also into Dickinson County at this hour. But again, the good news, no severe storms. Now we are tracking some breezy winds, gusting up to 29 for London and gusting to 24 over in Bell County, and we stay breezy into this evening as well. We also stay cool. Most of us right now in the middle to upper 40s and a few lower 50s close to Lake Cumberland, up to 55 in Somerset, 51 for Manchester, and down to 46 over in Pike County at this hour. Some cooler and drier air is on the way to close out this evening. Most of us wake up in the morning in the middle to upper 40s as drier air is also on the way, and some fantastic weather is on tap for most of this weekend. We stay dry tomorrow under a sunny sky. Those highs also warmer, and some of us could see some 80s by Sunday. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. The cleanup in Pike County continues after some damage left behind by severe storms yesterday. WYMT's RJ Johnson spoke with Pike County Emergency Management on what they have experienced in the last 24 hours.
Heavy rain left first responders concerned after water made its way onto roadways in several parts of Pike County.
That's when we were called and responded. The state road department, the county road departments responded, and they were cleaning up mudslides, trying to get ditches pulled so that they could get water flowing.
Pike County Emergency Management Director Nee Jackson says while a lot of the damage was in the Phelps Mouthguard area of the county, there was high water near Elkhorn City and Virgie, two areas damaged by the July 2022 floods.
It was a pretty good size, broad area that was being affected by this water. So it was really spread out, just trying to figure out where the places were that could be impacted the most as quickly as possible.
He says in emergency situations, it is important to not drive in high water.
Turn around, don't drown. Absolutely. Don't, every time we have water events, you get those pictures or videos of people driving through water. It's really dangerous. You have no idea what's underneath that water.
Saying anything could happen.
It may have been solid ground yesterday, but when water starts pounding on something and swirling and digging, it can erode and eat up roads, drains, no matter what it is. Water's very powerful.
Jackson says it's important to stay aware of what is going on inside and around your home and to have a plan in place in cases of emergencies. In Pike County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Jackson says they are also giving out weather alert radios to the community. He says you can call his office to find out more information. Mark Pope will enter Rupp Arena Sunday afternoon to introduce himself to the Big Blue Nation. But many of you already know him. You remember he played on UK's national championship team back in 1996. With a recruiting power like Coach Cal gone, many wonder if Pope can step in now and pick up where Coach Cal left off. We asked Leslie County's head boys basketball coach John Noble his thoughts on if he believes Pope is the right fit for UK.
One thing that we've seen, that if we watched him any, that he has a system, he has an offensive system, and I think he kind of recruits more to what works in that system as opposed to, hey, let's get the top 10 dudes. You know, so I think there's a big difference there. The top 10 dudes are great, but they might not jive the way that 10 guys that actually fit into your system do.
Well, Mark Pope's announcement as the new basketball coach at Kentucky has certainly sent some shockwaves through the Bluegrass State. Mariah Congito has more reaction from Lexington.
Big Blue Nation doesn't wait up. We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing forward to winning a championship.
Fans stood packed inside Barrel Distilling Company this morning as the official word came in that Mark Pope would be the next UK head coach.
It's big shoes to fill. I think anticipation all over the state, and so we're just excited for a new change, and hopefully we'll just go in a different direction.
Having not made it past the first weekend of the NCAA tournament the last several years, fans say perhaps bringing in new energy and style of play could be great for the next season.
I don't think he's a horrible pick considering he's been here. He knows what it's about.
Pope played 2 seasons at Kentucky and was a captain in 1996. Fans say they like that he already bleeds blue.
Yeah. It's a historical sort of day, kind of, for Kentucky basketball.
We've got to back him up and support him. We will stand behind him until the season starts, and then it's up to him. He's got to prove to Big Blue Nation that he's got what it takes to coach at Kentucky.
I'm excited to see what the new coach brings in terms of energy.
That was Mariah Congito reporting. Hard to believe that this time last week, John Calipari was still the head coach, and now he's the head man at Arkansas. The lawmakers in the General Assembly are working to override bills vetoed by the governor. The Kentucky House took up nearly 20 bills that Governor Beshear had vetoed, either entirely or in part. The House voted to override several items in the budget, including parts of the spending plan that dealt with limits on natural disaster expenses. The House voted overwhelmingly to override the veto of the Safer Kentucky Act, or House Bill 5.
I believe that this bill is going to have harms on us for the next 10, 20, and 30 years in a negative way, not only to our state government, but also to our local and county governments.
The Senate is also taking up the gubernatorial vetoes, and both chambers will meet to further their work to pass bills on Monday, the last day of the session.
Well, you can trade in the umbrella for the sunglasses this weekend. Your forecast coming up. Plus,
one popular 1980s and 90s country music star is performing a concert in Knott County tomorrow night. More about why just ahead.